Hi, dear beloved friends. I promised to make this video about the harmony and the flow and understanding the aspects within ourselves that we may categorize as feminine and masculine, the yin and the yang. And, um, and as I'm saying this, please understand that these are aspects that are in each one of us. Perhaps it's more accessible for women to have more of the feminine aspects and men to have more of the masculine aspects. But in actuality, we all have both aspects within ourselves. And this is an attempt to really see the organic feminine and masculine aspects, the yin and yang, underneath all the distorted cultural interpretations that seem to keep us from being at our true selves, from living in our harmony as our true selves. So that's my little introduction. And now I want to share with you some of the qualities that we all have within us. Some are more developed than others, depending on our focus. And these qualities can be in harmony. You know, the feminine aspect or the yin aspect of having multiple perspectives, seeing from multiple sides, is something we can all have. Think of a mother who has several children. She can kind of see how each child has a different way of seeing the world, a different way of learning, perhaps a different love language. She can see it all, and she can hold the family together in knowing all the different aspects of it. Now, the masculine side is to be able to take an action in one direction, right? Let's give the example of a family with 5 children, right? And this one wants to go to the zoo, and this one wants to stay home and read, and this one wants to go to the park, and this one wants to go swimming, or whatever it is. You know, the mother can feel that with each one and balance that out. That's her feminine side. And then when she brings forth her masculine side, it's to choose which one are we doing now in this time and space. And she may choose that she's going to do everything but at different days or whatever, but that action to choose on one thing. So that's a mother with both her feminine side and her masculine side. Father can do the same thing. It has nothing to do with what physical gender you identify yourself with. Your soul, your spirit, your being has both sides. So now there is also the ability to focus, which is the more masculine characteristics. So in seeing these multiple perspectives, to then take one perspective and focus on it is the more masculine aspect of it. The feminine aspects that we have within ourselves are healing. We have a lot of that healing ability. And it is like how, you know, a child falls and hurts themselves. And then either mom or dad, you know, just hold them. Let them cry, hold them. And that allows them to heal, allows them to be work the internal workings of healing, because we all do the healing from within. Even like I got this paper cut, I don't know if you can see it. It is on my middle finger, so I'm not trying to give you the middle finger. But you know, it hurt a lot, it bled a lot, and now I just leave it alone. I put a Band-Aid on it for a while. I leave it alone, and I know the internal healing abilities will heal it. And so the ability to just hold and not interject, not try to manipulate it, is that yin, feminine ability that allows for the natural forces to work, to do their healing. So another aspect of feminine is, well, the main aspect of the feminine is the holding, is the giving space. It's like if you look at just the sexual organs, the womb that holds the seed of a child and allows for it to grow. There is no going in and like, okay, let's make sure that the fingers are long enough, and let's, see that we can make the heart this way or the kidneys that way. It's just holding and allowing for the natural principles, the universal principles that to just become something. Now, that's also in our lives when we can just have patience and stillness, not have to control and manipulate things, and just allow them to develop. It could be, watching two children arguing over a toy, just standing back and allowing these children to work it out, however they want to work it out. The masculine aspect, which would be to maybe give a direction. Okay, you both want to use that toy. How about you decide one is going to use it for a minute, and then you're going to change it, and the other gets to use it for a minute. So that's giving insight, but then pulling back again and allowing the children to decide how they want to work with that. That also goes for children that are in their 40s, 50s, 30s, 20s, hundreds, how we allow for that. And that has been a big topic now, or a big problem, that there hasn't been enough feminine energy in the world. If we look at 2020, the year 2020, with all the conflict and the fighting and the trying to get you to believe my idea, that's very masculine, and that's very kind of inappropriate masculine, trying to force your own idea on someone else, when an appropriate masculine is, can I share with you this perspective or this concept or this idea, but then also using the feminine of backing off and allowing each person to decide ultimately what they are choosing, allowing for individual authority. And that allows for each person's own masculine yang side to take those steps and take those choices in the direction that they want to go in. So that is a harmonious, flowing yin yang, feminine masculine. And one of the things that has been missing in this world is that divine feminine yin, allowing for the natural, organic, divine sovereignty, peace to come out. And the false masculine is when we feel we have to take power over. And the false feminine is receiving that power over, just believing in authority without discerning what is really in my best interest. When you blindly trust and believe, oh, because this person has this position or this authority, this group has this authority role, and you blindly believe that, yes, they have my best interest in mind, that is a misplacement of trust that will ultimately reveal itself, and then you experience the consequences, and consequences are just there for helping us learn to choose again in a way that is more organic and real and true to ourselves. So the voice of justice is the feminine side when we speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. And then the action of justice is the masculine side. Both women and men have the feminine voice of justice and the masculine action of justice ability. Now, the incredible strength of the feminine power that each one of us has is what we allow for and what we don't allow for. So that's like making the space, allowing for something to exist, or not making the space. And that comes to focus. When you focus on something, you feed it. When you starve it from your focus, you starve it, basically. So when you don't want something, if you act against that something, that is a masculine, that is giving focus to it. But if you don't want that something, if you find what you want instead and simply focus on what you want, you are using your abilities properly, your feminine and masculine abilities properly. And they're one and the same at some point. We just divide them to maybe make a little bit more clarity in where we give space to, what we allow for, and then of course our focus is that masculine quality. It's one and the same. We're always focused on something. So I just wanted to not make this too long, but to give you this understanding that I have. I also wrote about it in my book, Being. There is a chapter that's called On Masculine and Feminine, and on being masculine and feminine. See, being masculine and feminine. And I did, the little sketch I had in here is the equinox. So there's always masculine and feminine and masculine. And the little poem I wrote is called Me and Not Me. I am what I am and a little of what I'm not. I'm outspoken and sometimes remain silent. I am strong and sometimes feel weak. I am tall and sometimes very small. I'm graceful. Sometimes I trip. I'm active and sometimes I stay very still. I am light and have a dark side too. So everything that exists in time and space, there must be allowance for it to exist, like a high-pressure system moving into a low-pressure space, or a plaster goo being poured into a mold. The space provided by the area of low pressure or the mold allows for the plaster or goo to exist in the space. Basically, there is presence and allowance for presence. So I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but just to give you an idea of how to be able to move more easily through the flow of the yin and yang, of the allowing and the action, the receiving. A big key for happiness is the intense receiving through gratitude. When we can have gratitude, then we have a big space for receiving love, for receiving joy, for receiving beauty, for receiving what we can then experience as happiness. So exercise some of this feminine energy that's needed in the world of gratitude and go forth in this day with blessings.